When the Son of Man comes in his glory and all the angels with him, he will sit on the glorious throne. All the nations will be gathered before him, and he will separate the people, one from another, as a shepherd separates the sheep from the goats. He will put the sheep on the right and the goats on his left. Then the king will say to those on his right, "Come, you who are blessed by the Father, take your inheritance, the kingdom prepared for you since the creation of the world." Derek is one of 5 half-brothers and 1 half-sister. You know, we saw each other sporadically. We weren't as close as brothers could be that would be living in the same house, but we recognized each other as brothers. I was aware that he had been sentenced to prison, but I was not aware of the details that were involved with that. Now, as my mother became ill, her long-held wish was that Derek would be released from prison, and that she had really been holding on and battling for many years with that hope and prayer that Derek would be released. And so that's when the relationship with Derek began to really grow. For I was hungry, and you gave me something to eat. I was thirsty, and you gave me something to drink. I was a stranger, and you invited me in. I needed clothes, and you clothed me. I was sick, and you looked after me. I was in prison, and you came to visit me. I don't know what all happened to cause his sentence to continually be extended. He's come up for parole 3 or 4 times. He said they only spent about 5 minutes with me. They asked me if I was ready to admit my crime, and I told them I didn't commit a crime. And they said, well, clearly you have not been rehabilitated, and they would just give me another 5 years onto my sentence. Not only did I feel he was a victim of his economic situation, of the justice system, I felt like the system continued to be less than fair in his case. Then the righteous will answer him, "Lord, when did we see you hungry and feed you, or thirsty and give you something to drink? When did we see you a stranger and invite you in, or needing clothes and clothe you? When did we see you sick or in prison and go to visit you?" Approximately 6 months ago, he called me tearfully and said, I'm ready to give up. I'm just tired. And I just so happened to be in the prayer group with Reverend Williams and the man. And I said, "Derek, could you hold on for a second?" I said, "I just happened to be in a prayer group. Would you mind if I put you on speaker and have you share what you're feeling with this group?" And he said, "Okay." So I put him on speaker. I told the men in the prayer group, my brother Derek's on the phone. He's been incarcerated for almost 30 years, and he's feeling really low right now. And so the man started praying with Derek, and he called me the next day, and he said, "I feel strong. I feel better. I appreciate the prayers. I appreciate this group." Every Thursday, he calls in. God's grace, and it's just been amazing.
And the king will answer them, "Truly I tell you, just as you did it to one of the least of these, who are members of my family, you did it to me." We were kind of learning as we went along what it meant to have a member who was in prison. What does that entail? How do we respond to that as a prayer group? What do we need to do? And it became very apparent that we just need to continue to listen, look for areas where we could be praying for him, and slowly, I'd say, Derek started, the conversation began to get more positive. You know, I've actually started a relationship with Derek myself. Every Sunday at 2:30, we have a phone conversation. It's never enough time. It always goes too fast, and it's something that I look forward to because it seems like every time we talk, I learn a little bit more about him and what I can be praying for. And then he will say to those at his left hand, "You that are accursed, depart from me into the eternal fire prepared for the devil and his angels. For I was hungry, and you gave me no food. I was thirsty, and you gave me nothing to drink. I was a stranger, and you did not welcome me, naked, and you did not give me clothing, sick and in prison, and you did not visit me."
God has shown himself to Derek so powerfully over these past 6 months that there is a group of men that cares about him, that God sees him and knows what he needed at the time of his most deepest despair, that God saw him and sent an answer.
It is a real privilege to be able to talk to Derek. I feel that God is using me in a way to be a blessing to him, to provide for him, maybe some material possessions, but also prayer and support that way, to be a friend in a place where he might not have too many friends. But it is just an honor to be a part of this group, and a group that reaches out to Derek, both as a group and individually.
It was a time in my life in here, that before I got into the prayer group, that I was feeling like I was left alone here. I was abandoned here. Since the prayer group, I feel like I'm not forgotten here. I'm getting emotional right now. You just keep talking about it.
What are your hopes for the future, Derek?
My hope is to get out of here. Get out of here and get my life started out there. Get a life out there.
Yeah. They also will answer, "Lord, when did we see you hungry or thirsty or a stranger or needing clothes or sick or in prison and did not help you?" He will reply, "Truly I tell you, whatever you did not do for one of the least of these, you did not do for me." Then they will go away to eternal punishment, but the righteous to eternal life.